Dear colleagues, the topic of my paper is Remnants and Representatives of Old Substrate and New Adstrate Languages. The question of remnants and representatives of Old Substrate and New Adstrate Languages is very difficult because one has to deal with a considerable number of languages spoken today in the Balkan Peninsula, but one has also to look at substrate languages which have only a fragmentary tradition. So often generally only remotely related and in some cases totally unrelated, the Balkan languages share sets of typological features. Thus, the nominal case systems are disintegrated and their verbal systems are analytical to a considerable degree. They have a general tendency towards explicit marking of grammatical functions with specific uninflected function words and towards uniformity of morphological markers. As pointed out by the Danish linguist Christian Sandfeld, moving through the territory covered by these languages, we notice that often only the lexicon and the inflections change, while the manner of expression remains the same. Balkan languages as a Sprachbund were first described by Jernej Kopitar in 1829, who pointed out that the languages spoken south of the Danube show analogous forms expressed by different language material. It was Franz Miklosic who examined in 1861 the facts more closely and singled a number of common features of the languages in the Balkan area, e.g. the formation of the future with the help of the verb auxiliary, the absence of infinitive forms, a single common dative-genitive form, both positive articles, simultaneous use of a self-standing and a not self-standing personal pronominal form. Formation of the numbers 11 to 90, Bulgarian 89 to 89, with the help of the preposition with the meaning on and some other common features. Miklosic also started the investigation of personal names in Slavic languages. Nikolai Trubetskoy, the Russian linguist who taught in Vienna in 1928, referred to relationships such as the ones exhibited by among the languages on the Balkans as Sprachbund, arguing that the languages of a Sprachbund are remarkably similar in sentence structure and word formation, but show no systematic sound correspondences and have a great number of common cultural words, so the basic vocabularies may be diametrically different. There were linguists and historians from different European countries who were engaged with the questions of Balkan toponymy. It was Konstantin Jiricek who published in 1888 reports on his voyages, trying to explain a considerable number of antique and medieval toponyms. In 1897 he published a study on Christian elements in Balkan toponymy. The Bulgarian historian Marin Drinov wrote about the toponymy concerning Slavic settlements in the Balkans, because there was a widespread settlement in Romania, Albania, and Greece since the 5th and 6th century. But there was also a Romanian influence on the Bulgarian toponymy. Concerning the question of names in the Balkans, Max Fasmer started with his book Die Slaven in Griechenland, Berlin 1942, followed by Vladimir Georgiev with his book La toponymie ancienne de la péninsule balkanique et la thèse méditerranéenne, Sofia 1961. The Albanian linguist Ekrem Çabay, with his paper during the 7th International Congress of Onomastics in Firenze 1963 on the elder settlements of Albanians in the Balkans, seen from the point of language and toponyms. Ivan Turidanov gave an overlook on the problems of toponyms and historical geography in the Balkans on the occasion of the 11th International Congress of Onomastics in Sofia 1972. The Thracian language was examined by the Bulgarian linguists Dmitry Techev, Vladimir Georgiev, and Ivan Turidanov. The fragments of the Illyrian language by the German linguist Hans Grahl the rest of the Dacian language by the Berlin volcanologist Günther Reichenberg. The present Balkan states share an area with a historical heritage dating back to their first human settlement. During the first millennium of the modern era, the influence of Rome in the territories in and around the Balkans, which the Roman Empire had conquered, carried on the development of different civilizations on the Balkans. There is no actual agreement whether the languages spoken before Greek were Indo-European and more or less related to ancient Greek. But ancient Greek, of course, was not the oldest language spoken in Greece and in the Aegean area. Yet the recorded Paleo-Macedonian linguistic material consists of no more than 140 words, but about 200 proper names of Macedonian persons, nobles and warriors are found in various texts of this time. Illyrian tribes spread across almost the whole Balkan Peninsula. They were Bagans, and therefore numerous Illyrian and Albanian names are derived from the names of plants, animals, and some kinds of superstition. Knowledge of Thracian, Dacian, and Illyrian is not very extensive. They are languages for which no literacy was ever developed. But there are also names with an Indo-European background, e.g. Illyrian Skotra, Albanian Skutari, Skotar, is to be compared with Lithuanian dialectal Skutrus, with the meaning sharp-edged, corresponding to the landscape, or Karpatis Oros, Carpathian Mountains. The name for mountains is to be compared with Indo-European Korba, with the meaning rock. There is also the name Karpis of a river in Dacia, to be compared with Albanian Karpe, with the same meaning. The name Doveros, the Greek name Doveros, a town at the Varda River, may be compared with Lithuanian Dubus, with the meaning deep, Dabaris, with the meaning of a pit with water, a little lake. The Slavic speakers migrated to the Balkan Peninsula in the 6th century. They came to the area of Romania, Albania, Greece, and finally reached the Peloponnese, where we find a considerable number of toponyms with a Slavic background. The Roman speakers of the Balkans entered recorded history during the 12th century. It was the Roman province of Dacia which was conquered and colonized by the Roman Emperor Trajan in 106 and abandoned by his successors in 271. With the Roman withdrawal, the area dropped out of recorded history, and there were noticeable migrations of Goths, Huns, Avars, Bulgars, Magyars, and even Mongols. It is rather easy to explain the meaning of toponyms derived from folk names, e.g. Gallicum near Saloniki, Srpsko Selo in southwest Bulgaria, Vlaški Dol with the meaning of a Wallachian valley in northern Bulgaria, Mađarsko, a Hungarian village near Varaždin in Croatia. In Old Church Slavonic we find changes of reduced vowels. In certain positions the reduced vowels disappeared. There is also a metathesis of liquid diphthongs like in Varna. The name of the Bulgarian town as the coast of the Black Sea derived from Varne with the meaning black, dark. And the development of two nasal vowels, namely on and un, e.g. Bulgarian neseber, Old Bulgarian ne-sa-bri. There is no other area within and outside Europe where so many different linguistic and political influences became effective as on the Balkan Peninsula. There are the so-called onomastic languages, onomasticheski yaziki, like Thracian, Dacian, and Illyrian. Starting with the languages spoken today in the Balkans, we find Slavic, Romance, Albanian, Greek toponyms, but also Turkish with some geographic denominations. In the Romanian toponymy, we find some Old Bulgarian denominations, but also a considerable number of Thracian, Dacian, and Illyrian names. Besides Old German geographic denominations, there is a strong Turkish influence, but also all Bulgarian names are found in Greece and Albania. Toponyms are, in contrast to personal names, one of the most important sources for investigation into the history of human settlement in this region, especially if there are no written texts. The continuance of toponyms varies. The most constituent names, of course, are the denominations of rivers. The conservation of toponyms varies, especially the names of those rivers which pass through larger areas, e.g. the Danube, Old Bulgarian Dunave, Slovene Dunaj, Gosik, Donavi, Avestin, Danu, with the meaning river. The names of rivers sometimes are more important than the names of settlements, because villages or towns may have been destroyed by enemies, but not forgotten are the names of the rivers. Thus, the names of waters are also mountains or landscapes, as a testimony, seem sometimes more important than those of human settlements. But there is also the name of the whole region Balkan, the Turkish word for Balkan, mountains, corresponding to antique Hamos, Middle Greek, Zygos in Bulgarian, Stara Planina. There must be found a classification of Balkan toponyms which looks into linguistic characteristics as there are phonetic or morphological changes. The different geographic names in the Balkan Peninsula can be traced back to most different languages, not only to languages which are spoken today in this area, but also to the oldest, only partially transmitted languages, as there are Illyrian, Dacian, and Thracian. Besides phonetic and morphological changes of the names in discussion, the folk etymology, in German Volksetymologie, has to be regarded as a factor of forming toponyms, e.g. Heraklia was understood by the Turkish conquerors as Erikla, the Turkish plural of Erik with the meaning of plum or plum tree. Another example for folk etymology is Trianopole, a field of corn cherry trees, instead of Adrianopolis. Starting with the manifold components of the present Balkan Sprachbund, including South Slavic languages like Macedonian, dialects of Serbian and Bulgarian, Romanian with its Balkan representatives, Daco-Romanian, Megleno-Romanian, Aromanian and Istro-Romanian, Albanian and modern Greek, we have to regard above all three periods which have shaped the stock of geographic names in the Balkan Peninsula, especially the form of these toponyms. First, the old Balkan substrate languages, Thracian, Dacian and Illyrian, with geographic names in historical sources, but also remnants in the stock of geographic names, e.g. Dalmatia, tracing back to the Illyrian Dalmion to be compared with Albanian Dele, Delme, sheep. There is also the Illyrian word Mal for mountain, which is found in many late and modern toponyms, e.g. Malejeva. Many names of Bulgarian rivers were taken over from substrate languages, e.g. Osem from Thracian Asamos, Nishava from Thracian Navisos. In the Dacian area, we find toponyms with Dava, Dana, or Dava, town, with the meaning town. In contrast to the Dacian names in the Thracian area, we find toponyms with Para, Bria, Disa, and Deva, also with the meaning of town settlement. E.g. Bulbudeva, the name of Plovdiv, the old name for Plovdiv. The area of Dacian and Thracian substrate languages is approximately the same of present Romania and Bulgaria. Second, the adstrate languages of the Balkan Peninsula were Greek and Latin, perhaps also South Slavic, which have formed partially the stock of names to the south and to the north of a borderline named Jirecek line from west to east in the Balkan Peninsula, e.g. Elensko, Ursulica in the Bulgarian region of Pirkot. But there are also Slavic elements in the toponymy of non-Slavic Balkan countries, e.g. Zapori, Zaporion in Greece, corresponding Slavic Zaporje, a settlement behind a mountain. Gardika, Gardena in Greece, derived from Slavic garde, with the meaning of town. And third, Turkish as a language of the Balkan Peninsula, not belonging to the Balkan Sprachbund, also left traces in the Balkan toponymy, e.g. Kara Orman, Black Forest, for Arnautlar, Albanian settlers. I hope I could you present some aspects of remnants and representatives of old substrate in new adstrate languages in the Balkans and their history. Thank you very much for your attention.
Спасибо профессор Шаллера за прекрасный экскурс в балканскую топонимику, историческую и народно-этнологическую. Какие будут вопросы и соображения? Пожалуйста. Звучали родные нашему уху балканские географические названия. Какие-то вопросы, может быть, комментарии возникли? Да, пожалуйста.
I would have a question about toponyms. Are there translated toponyms, like in the modern European field? We have Greek names for France, for instance, Gallia, or Greek name for Switzerland, Helvetia, perhaps from Latin, I imagine. So are there some comparable examples where the same toponym, and we know this is the same place, would be called in translated way by the various languages?
I think these are artificial names. They don't have a tradition like substrate or adstrate names and Turkish names. I think it's constructions, yes. You have the same in Russia, yes, with Greek names by Catherine the Great, yes.
Такие конструкции, да?
Yes,
Конструкции. Понятно, да. Андрей Николаевич, пожалуйста.
Очень интересный доклад, но я хотел бы привести пример, спрашиваю. Пульхериополис, белый город, становится у славян Белградом, а у албанцев Биратом.
Yeah.
Пожалуйста.
Tourist, you spoke of tourists, yes.
А есть ли где-то такая подборка переводов? Есть ли статьи, такие специальные работы по переводам на Балкан? Встречалась кому-нибудь?
Отдельные, да, расписываются топонимы. Да.
История,
с какого века, чего это есть.
Крупнейшие имена Заимов,
Крупнейшие,
Дуриданов.
да, конечно. Но вот из последних работ. Уже, по-моему, сейчас этим меньше занимаются, чем раньше.
Да.
К сожалению. Еще вопросы, пожалуйста. У меня такой небольшой вопрос. Вы сказали, что реки, название рек важнее, чем название поселения.
Да.
А если сравнивать реки и горы, что важнее? Одинаковые реки и горы? Вы много говорили про горы и про реки.
Я
Здесь
думаю, реки.
Вы думаете реки?
Это важнее, да.
Хорошо.
Потому что
Ну,
там движение, да.
Движение. Ну, для Балкан все-таки горы, наверное, очень
Да.
еще важны тоже, да? Еще, пожалуйста, вопросы, комментарии. Спасибо вам огромное.
Так, спасибо за
Спасибо
внимание.
и за регламент, и за все.
Yes.
У нас начало многоязычное сегодня дневного заседания. Сейчас доктор Метани. На каком языке вы будете говорить? На хорватском. Значит, мы переходим из английского. Спасибо, теперь свободно.
Благодарю за внимание. Да. Интересная тема, да.